Hank, thanks for this list. It was actually very interesting to hear this. As a Canadian, and especially as a Canadian who lives in New Brunswick, right above Nova Scotia, I just want to give you guys a little bit more information because it was an explosion that at the time was quite important. Now, the two ships involved were the SS Imo and the SS Mont Blanc. The Mont Blanc was the one carrying the actual dynamite, whereas the ISO was the Norwegian freighter that was bigger and faster than the actual Mont Blanc. I'll get right to the nitty gritty. The Mont Blanc exploded in a fraction of a second. The most immediate and devastating effect of the explosion was a shock wave produced by the detonation that was the equivalent of 2,989 tons of TNT. The shock wave traveled at a speed of more than 1,500 meters per second. At the center of the blast, the heat produced by the chemical reaction was in excess of 5,000 Celsius. The heat and pressure pushed a fireball of hot gases and debris consisting of soot, unburned coal, carbon from explosives, and shrapnel high into the sky above the harbor. As the gases cooled, a giant cloud formed. The soot, carbon, and shrapnel fell as a deadly shower. Around the Mont Blanc, the water was vaporized by the heat. The pressure of the explosion sent a 16-meter tidal wave out into the harbor and into the Richmond neighborhood for 3 city blocks. It's amazing what happened in regards to it. The collision happened, the events happened in the morning between 8:50 a.m. to 9:20, if I remember correctly, a.m. And they give details. If you go to the following website, this is where I'm reading most of the information. It's from www.halifaxexplosion.org. And that website was set up specifically to commemorate and provide information for those that wanted to need more about the actual ships, the explosion, silence, and so on and so forth. The just for a fact of information, the actual pieces, the whole boat that was carrying it, Mont Blanc, was disintegrated. One of its cannons landed about 1.5 miles away, but the anchor shank itself, which weighed a good half ton, was propulsed over 2 kilometers away. They have found those items, and they have them exposed at the Marine Museum down by the Halifax Pier. And I do encourage you to actually seeing it, because there's lots of material you can actually see. Money was given by various organizations, and this is where the famous tradition of the Christmas tree sent by Halifax to the town of Boston, city of Boston, actually started because of their help. They were one of the first ones to actually assist in sending brigades of people to actually come and help with the disaster. Now, with the explosion, it's not the explosion itself, and it's not the tidal wave itself, it's what happened after. 1,900 people died, with 100 people dying over the next year from their injuries. 2,000 people were permanently injured. Actually, 9,000 people were permanently injured. Most of them with injuries to their eyes because of glass shattering within a 50-kilometer radius from the blast wave. Unfortunately, the explosion happened timely enough that people were unfortunately attracted to the windows to see what was going on, because the ship was on fire. It was showing a plume of smoke for miles around. And unfortunately, it led to their injuries. So, I'm sorry to inform you of this, but I hope it's informative, and at least it allows you to go seek the information and the truth available on the official archives and the official websites that contain the information. Tons of material available. But if you're down by Nova Scotia this year or planning to come to the province, my province is New Brunswick, but theirs is Nova Scotia, go visit the Marine Museum over at the Halifax Pier downtown. it's worth every single penny and money and energy you'll want to actually invest. It'll be worth the trip. Have a nice one.